I mean, it's another instance where the liberal secular humanist doesn't even Google, doesn't even take the time to Google. You just throw it out there, and it's because you assume Christians have nothing meaningful to say. If you want someone who's actually going to take the time to listen to the other side and interact with it meaningfully, you better find a Christian. Because we seem to be the only ones that do it. Isn't that weird? I wonder who's really afraid of whom when, well, okay, we've already covered that one, haven't we?
He said you would go to hell. Basically, he did. He said if you were to go, if you're very...
Anyone who's listened to the program knows that the word hell was never even mentioned. But Sam, anyone who remains in rebellion against the God who made them, who gave them life, who gives them breath, that gives them every good gift, even when they misuse those gifts to continue to rebel against him, anyone, heterosexual, homosexual, transgender, bisexual, pedophile, incestuous person, I don't care what terms you want to use, it doesn't matter. Anyone who exits this life in rebellion against the God who has given them so much, and yet calls them to repentance and faith toward him through Jesus Christ, will experience eternal separation from him. Doesn't matter what names you want to put on it. And that includes me or you. So, pretending to be transgender, because I don't believe there is such a thing. Bruce Jenner will never have PMS. Bruce Jenner will never give birth to a child. Bruce Jenner will never nurse a child. Bruce Jenner is not a woman. My wife is a woman. Bruce Jenner will never be what my wife has been her entire life. And I am offended that anyone would compare him to her. Okay? Now, I believe that that's the only sane, rational position to take. And the fact that your side seems to be intent simply upon shouting it down rather than demonstrating, oh no, it's a morally good, honorable, virtuous thing. Show me the virtue, Sam, in being a 65-year-old grandfather who does to his body what Bruce Jenner has done to his body. Show me the virtue in that. Because see, for you, the greatest virtue is happiness. Well, he's more happy. Well, I dispute that, but would you care to attempt to make a meaningful argument? Showing some knowledge, at least a little knowledge of the discussion that mankind has been engaged in for millennia about the relationship of happiness, joy, fulfillment, virtue, duty, honor, the things that make us humans rather than just animals. And maybe that's the problem, because you probably just think we are just animals. Which is why this generation has decided that it's so much smarter than all these generations beforehand that actually sat around and had meaningful, long discussions about these things and wrote big, long books about them. I don't know, Sam. Please don't take this too strong. I don't think you've ever read Cicero. I really don't think so. I don't think you've ever even familiarized yourself with any of the Roman writers on the subject or the Greek philosophers or anything along those. I just don't get that feeling. I really don't. Some of you are going, it's not Cicero, it's Cicero. Depends on what Latin class you took, huh? Anyway.
You're transgender, you're going to go down in flames.
He was playing God by telling us that. By telling us that...
He's playing God by telling us that. Now we move over to Erica in the leopard print. I think my wife would like the leopard print, actually. I don't think she'd like what she's saying, but she'd like the leopard print. That's a nice freeze frame there. Yeah. We move over to Erica, and I'm playing God by, well, allegedly saying what Sam said I said, which I didn't say. But here you hear the irrational detestation on the part of the world of the idea that God has spoken. There's the I'm playing God. No, I'm simply telling you God has spoken. And in fact, of course, the fellow I was quoting was someone named Jesus. And he wasn't playing God, he actually was God. He said that no one takes my life from me, I lay it down on my own accord. I have authority to lay it down, I have authority to take it up again. This commandment I've received my Father. He rose again the third day from the dead. And so, you can deal with all those things, but the reality is that I'm not playing God. In fact, if you actually were to think through this and I were to have the opportunity of dialoguing with you, you're the one playing God. Yeah, you are. Well, what do you mean? I recognize that I am insufficient to be the center of my worldview. I'm insufficient for that. I'm not omniscient. I'm not infallible. I am a mere creature. And so in my worldview, Erica, I recognize that I am a creature, God is in the center, and therefore for me to have true knowledge of anything else, I have to first relate to God and then through God to anything else, whether it's history, ethics, morals, whatever it is, I have to go through God because only He is sufficient to consistently hold all this together because He made all these things. You put yourself in the center. And you put God out here someplace. So you actually are putting yourself into the position that only God can fulfill. So the reality is, Erica, though you don't know it because evidently you've never been challenged to think it through, you are playing God. You are playing God to tell me that I can't rely upon what God has said in His Word. I cannot rely upon what God has said in Jesus Christ. You, in fact, are taking the position of God, not me. It would be nice to talk about it, Erica.
They had to believe that this is the way God is. Every person, especially in the United States, we have the ability to decide what it is we believe.
Ah, yes. In here. Yeah, that Constitution gives us the right to edit God. There you go. There you go. Wow.